Hi everyone, and thank you for watching. First of all, I want to apologize for my voice. I just lost my voice a few days ago, so I'm trying to fight to get it back. So I might sound a little monotone or scratchy during this video, so please excuse me ahead of time. We're going to reenact a few rounds of martial arts and trading card games so you can familiarize yourself with the gameplay. For this example, we'll be using proxy cards. The deck our opponent and I will use will be King of the Ring, our professional boxing deck. As we begin, keep in mind that we have 30 health points and our goal is to bring the other to 0 health points or lower first. Okay, let's say I win the coin toss and I choose to go first. My opponent and I will each draw 7 cards from our main deck. Since we're using proxy cards, you'll notice that they're color coordinated. We did this to make it easier during gameplay testing last year. Attack cards are represented by red, defense by blue, event cards purple, and strategy cards are green. With this game, we aren't dependent on resources like mana, so we can play cards directly from our hand. So for my first move, I'll play a jab punch. My opponent doesn't block, so he takes 1 point of attack damage from the jab. Because it was a successful hit, I'm going to try my luck and play a straight punch, hoping they don't block. Oh, by the way, since I had already played the jab punch and the move had resolved, then I should go ahead and put it in the discard pile next to the main deck. So my opponent still doesn't block and takes a hit from the straight punch. I can play this to start a combo because the linker of the jab punch is 3 and requires a linked move with a CPT of 3 or less. So the straight punch has a CPT of 1, so it's not a problem. Because of this, I gain 1 adrenaline point for every successful hit after 1. Adrenaline points don't go away until I use them, so we can essentially save them up to use them to unleash powerful strategy cards if we want. If you look at our hand, well, we can play this taunt card because it has an adrenaline cost of 1. If we do, then our adrenaline point is used and goes back to 0. These points don't regenerate, so we have to earn them back through combos or other tricks. Okay, although I can still play an attack, I don't want to just yet, so I'm going to end my turn. Now it's my opponent's turn. They'll draw 3 cards, and I'll draw 2. Ouch! It looks like they play a straight punch for 2 damage. So do I take the hit? Not really. So I play a guard. The guard absorbs up to 3 damage, and since a straight punch has an attack of 2, I don't take any of the hits. If it was the other way around and the attack was 3 and I had a defense of 2, 1 hit would carry over to me. Okay, so if you notice, the guard here has a linker of 2. So when I play the guard, I can use this. That gives me a chance to counterattack. So I'm going to counterattack with a jab punch since the CPT is 1 and it fulfills the need of the linker from the guard. So what also just happened is that I took over my opponent's turn and I just started my attack phase. So if my opponent takes a hit, it's still my attack phase, then resolve phase, then I'll end the turn and it's back to my opponent again. Oh, yikes. Okay, so my opponent plays a sidestep and makes my jab do absolutely nothing. If they wanted to, they could counterattack as well. Then I would have the option to counterattack their counterattack until one of us finally takes a hit or has some way to outmaneuver the other. Okay, so my opponent ends their turn. Okay, that works for me. I will draw 3 cards and they will draw 2. Just for fun, let's use up that adrenaline point we got earlier and taunt them. So what the taunt does is forces the opponent to attack, ending our turn. What good is that? Let's give it a try. Okay, so my opponent has to attack me and they use a straight punch. Great, because I wanted them to waste an attack move, I had a sidestep waiting to nullify the attack, and then I could lead into a feint. For the feint, the opponent has to discard a defense card from their hand, or my next move after that is unblockable. It's worth a shot. And with luck, they have no defense cards to discard, so I will play the most powerful card in my current hand, which is the Haymaker. Because they can't block and it's considered 2 successful hits, I make a combo and I get 1 adrenaline point. And also my opponent takes 5 hits, bringing them down to 22 health points. I'm not going to attack again, but since right now is considered my resolve phase, I'll play this event card called Seeing Stars just to mess with my opponent. With Seeing Stars, it makes both players discard 1 card from their hand at random at the beginning of their turn. So if it was the beginning of my turn, I would have to discard a random card from my hand. It could be my most powerful card, it could be my most useless card at the moment, who knows. Okay, since I end my turn now, it ends up being my opponent's turn, so right at the beginning of their turn, they have to discard. Then my opponent draws 3 cards, and I'll draw 2. And we keep going and play out the rest of the round. So that's our quick run through of the game. Of course, when you're more familiar with your moves and figure out a strategy of play, then the game will be pretty quick and very intense. The game is all about action and reaction and strategizing ahead of time, just like a real fight. And that's about it. Thanks again for watching.